I mean, I don't even think I would have gone to post-secondary school if I kept up at public school, to be honest. I just really lacked the confidence and lacked some of the skills I wasn't getting at public school.
I spoke with Jennifer Cobden, who graduated from the Astolot Educational Centre in 2015. Jennifer made the switch to Astolot after a traumatic experience in public school as a student with dyslexia. At Astolot, Jennifer was able to build relationships with her peers, teachers, and staff, and found the perfect school where she could feel safe. After realizing how much her teachers meant to her at Astolot, Jennifer now wants to pursue an education in teaching. I'm curious just to get a sense of your involvement during your time at Astolot. If you were to draft up a resume listing kind of all of your experiences and accomplishments, what would that look like?
So like my highlights in my experience, so I came to the school, I was at a public high school and I was getting bullied very badly there. So I came to Astolot because I had a very traumatic experience in public high school. So I really kind of found myself at this school because, well, if I go way back, when I was 6 years old, I got adopted and I was very, very, very behind in school. I struggled a lot. I didn't even know my alphabet in grade 1. And it wasn't until later on that my parents ended up getting me a psych assessment. I was diagnosed with dyslexia. And so I just kind of made it by throughout the years. And then in high school, it just got really worse, not having that one-on-one time at school with teachers, and then just going to a smaller school, I ended up just flourishing because I was able to get that one-on-one attention from teachers. I was able to get my confidence back almost. My teachers were always super supportive, always had my back. They catered to my learning style, not just how they wanted to teach. They really got to know me and how I learned. And I ended up doing so well. I was able to get into all the programs that I really wanted to get into for university. And I just really found myself. I no longer felt dumb. I felt like I just needed to be taught in a different way than other people. And that's that's all it was. So yeah, I like that.
That's great. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
And what would be your proudest memory from your time there?
My proudest memory for sure would have to be, so I had a lot of anxiety throughout high school. I didn't think I was intelligent. I just really struggled and it took me a long time to get to do things, but I pushed myself. I did the grade 12 biology. I did the grade 12 chemistry. I did all the hard subjects. And I think for me, my proudest moment was when I was struggling so hard in grade 12 to get this chemistry done. And I got tutoring once a week, and I would have so at Astolot, you kind of have closer relationships with your teachers. So I would always be standing in front of them, getting them to grade my tests because I was so anxious, and they kind of they're always had my back in that way. It's fine, you're gonna do well, Jenny, you've studied and things like that. But I think my proudest moment was when I ended up really doing very well in chemistry, even though I was there's no way I can do that. I'll never be able to do harder subjects. But I ended up getting a very good grade in grade 12 chemistry, and I was very proud about that.
Amazing. That's
Yeah.
great to hear. And so you mentioned, the close relationship with your teachers, and how big of a change it was coming from public school. I'm curious, what do you think, what did you appreciate the most about the school, and what made the biggest difference for you?
I think what made the biggest difference for me was the small classrooms. I was very anxious to come to the school because I wasn't sure if I was going to get the same kind of high school experience as maybe some of my friends would have. But with the small class sizes, I was actually able to make very strong connections with not just my peers, but also my teachers. And they just knew me more personally. And I really liked that. I wasn't just a person in a 30 room classroom or whatever. So I really liked that.
Hmm.
aspect of it. I also really liked how I felt safe at the school because of the bullying that I had experienced at my public school. It's absolutely not tolerated whatsoever at Astolot. Like if there's a problem between students, it's talked about and resolved. And if it keeps on going on, like they're out. Like it's not tolerated here whatsoever. So it was really like a safe place for me. And I still find it a safe place. And I love that. Yeah.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and other than the class sizes, what do you think most differentiates the school from other similar schools?
Um, I think it's just that Astolot really not only teaches like what they have to academically, but they teach life skills. Like our goal really at Astolot, like our philosophy is not
Hmm.
only just teaching, right? It's getting the kid to go on to their next step, and let that be like needing a new friend, learning how to read, graduating high school, if that is. Um, it's just getting to their next step. And I think that's really, Astolot teaches life skills, really got me through university of like how to properly write an essay, how to organize my time properly, just basic life skills that I might have not been taught in public school or
Hmm.
anywhere else. Yeah.
For sure. And on the topic of that next step, I'm curious if you can speak a bit more about how the school prepared you for university. I'm also wondering if the smaller class sizes was a drawback, or was it difficult, adjusting to university?
Yeah, so I that was also something I was very anxious about. But the thing is I came here in grade 10, and then when I started going into grade 11 and 12, my teachers actually kind of taught me in the way that I was in university. Like I had like a syllabus. They taught me how to organize my assignments. I had to highlight my agenda. I even had a case of, I didn't even realize, but I ended up plagiarizing by accident, and I got a 0 on the assignment. Like I was just like I was treated just like a university student in some
Right.
ways, like how they would be like in university. And I remember actually when I went to university and got my first assignment back, I couldn't wait to email my principal about how well I did and how prepared I actually felt. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like there's people talking around like saying they don't even know how to write an essay. And here I am like, this is easy, like I got this. And I
Yeah,
ended up doing really well because I've been practicing essays since grade 10. So yeah, it's
that's
great.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So that's great. Great. And I'm curious if just a bit of a creative question here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you were to imagine Astalot as a person with a personality, would you be able to describe that personality in 3 words?
Okay. I would say accepting, safe, and efficient.
Mm,
Like safe, accepting, and efficient person. That's how
okay.
I would describe it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And can you elaborate a bit more so I think we covered, safe a lot,
Mhm.
prior, and just
Yeah.
speaking about, the bullying policy and
Mhm.
everything.
Mhm.
I'm curious if you can just elaborate on the other two.
Accepting in the way that Astolot accepts you for no matter what issues you face. If that would be academically, socially, emotionally, I feel like no matter the issues that you face here, we have a solution. Like we always have a solution.
Hmm.
And no matter if that is working working one-on-one, like emotionally with someone else. Like we also have like at the school like an emotional support person kind of, and he works with like social skills and things like that. So
Hmm.
that's also available at the school, which is great. And then what was the other one? I said safe, accepting, and efficient.
Efficient. Yeah.
Efficient. I would say efficient because we like at the school, like they're efficient at figuring out what the problem is that the child is facing and figuring out a strategy on how to make them not struggle and how to make them successful in learning what they are struggling on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
And I'm curious, is there something that you think is absolutely unique about the school?
Absolutely unique. Um, trying to think.
Mhm.
Absolutely unique. Well, when I first came to the school, I always kind of describe it almost like a homeschool kind of like feeling. Like everyone's very like, we're kind of like a big family. Like we all like, I would have interactions as a student with people in grade 1. Like I would have those kind of like connections and things like that. And I feel like that really makes the school unique because you can like go through your day, but you could have like a whole conversation with a kid from grade 1 and like
Mm.
have a friend that's in a younger grade and things like that, or even like work with them or like help them. I know some of the students have helped, like I used to when I was in high school, run the aftercare program. So I really also got to know the students in the younger grades. So that was
Mhm.
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's valuable experience for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm curious, what if you were to think, from the standpoint of a parent who's, maybe doing their research right now about the school. They've gone online, they've read about the school, they've maybe even gone to an open house, so they have a good sense of it. But what is something that would surprise them, or what is something that would surprise the student, on that first day actually enrolling in the school?
Um, well, I think the thing that would surprise them is that our school is not at all like public school. It's just very, um, I would say more relaxed in a
Hmm.
way, like just within the classroom and how things operate. Like some kids might have like noise canceling headphones on, or some kids might be working on a computer, or some kids might be working at their desk. Like we cater for each kid. So I think as a school, that's what they do is cater for each kid. So it might look different, like a classroom setting. But yeah,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, for sure. And so you mentioned it, it kind of feels like a family, with
Yeah.
teachers, with your peers as well.
Mhm.
I'm curious, is there a typical student at the school?
Typical student. I think there's a wide range of students that come here. We have kids that have been bullied. We have kids that have learning disabilities. We have kids that are on the spectrum, things like
Mm.
that. We have a wide range of kids. We also have kids from different places as well. We have had Aboriginal students. We've had people coming even from like China. We've had a wide range of kids.
Wow. Yeah. And
Yeah.
is it mandatory to, like, is it a school specifically for students with learning disabilities, or?
I would say so. Like we do have kids that don't have learning disabilities, but we really we do have a lot of kids with learning disabilities. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And
I say
so,
we're accepting of all, really.
yeah, exactly. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm curious, just maybe getting a bit personal and
Mhm.
a bit of a deep question. Do you think your experience at the school shaped who you are today as a person?
Oh, tremendously. Yeah. Absolutely. Like I almost get emotional thinking about it because a lot of the time, even with this year, like parents will come in and they'll like talking to me because I've had that experience here and I've gone through it. And I mean, I don't even think I would have gone to post-secondary school if I kept up at public school, to be honest. I just really lacked the confidence and lacked some of the skills I wasn't getting at public school. And I just feel like the school just really made me see who I was.
Hmm.
Like I wasn't some dumb person that I thought I was. I just needed to be taught in a different way. I needed to be almost like praised, like, like you are smart and you're doing well and you're gonna achieve your goals. And I'm so thankful that I came to this school because I don't know if I would have been where I am now. For sure.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. Um, and so, not no school is absolutely perfect. I'm sure you
Yeah.
can agree. And so I am wondering if there is anything that you would change about the school.
Change about the school. Well, that's a hard question. Um, that's really hard. Well, I know when I came to the school, like as I said, I was really worried about having the same kind of like experiences of my friends and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think is like even I remember like missing like clubs. And I feel like Astolot is also really appreciative of hearing from the students and what they kind of want. So like I remember at the time, um, I was like, I really kind of missed clubs, and I talked to my teachers about it and a few others that were interested in skiing.
Mm,
And then we ended up going once a week in the winter time, going skiing at Gatineau once a week, and we kind of formed like a ski club.
nice.
So like definitely if there's kind of like interest within the school of like certain activities, clubs can be formed for sure.
Right.
I think a lot of the time like a lot of people think that clubs and like things like that don't really exist in smaller schools. But for me, like I was surprised to see that
Yeah.
and able to do that. Like I know now there's a huge group of boys in like grade 7 and 8 that like playing Dungeon and Dragons. So they have like a Dungeon and Dragons like club. So that's
Nice.
really cool.
That's
We've
great.
had chess clubs too and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they really encourage the students to take initiative with that, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
And
Yeah.
kind of let the teachers know what they like, and then a teacher will kind of run it that's
Yeah.
interested in doing so. Yeah. Which is
Well,
great.
that's great. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so since you've had some space from the school, you graduated a few years ago. Um, I'm curious about how your perspective on the school has changed over the years. Have you come to appreciate it more? Are there things that you went to university and you realized, oh, I learned this at Astelot, or
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like I said, like a lot of the time when I was going through university, I just feel like I learned a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have if I didn't come here. Just like even just time management or how to break down how to write an essay and um, just simple techniques and things like that that I think I wasn't getting. Like I mean, when I was in grade 9, they had us write an essay, but they didn't really go through each step and things like
Hmm.
that. So it was way more kind of detailed on how to write one, and we had a lot of practice on writing different types of essays too and things like that. And I think like with my degree, my degree was very essay based. So I know even depending on what the student is interested in, like the teacher really tries to make sure that they're prepared for university based on what they're doing.
Yeah,
So I felt like I was so prepared for
that's
sure.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And so just my next few questions are kind of about prospective students and prospective families. And so I'm wondering, what are the three biggest reasons why someone should choose Astelot as a school?
I think one like really good reason is that no matter what your child is facing, they'll be like accepted, and we will work with the student and the parents on getting them to succeed in whatever they're struggling with or why they're here. Um, I also think that with the strategies there, that there's a lot of strategies to help them become successful, and I think as a parent, being aware of the things that um, your child is struggling with, and really enforcing kind of the strategies they learned at Astolot at home. So I feel like if the parents accept their child for who they are, and we're accepting their child for who they are, then we're both on the same page. Like they'll end up going on to their next step. I also think they should, again, with the feeling safe thing,
Mm,
like I feel like all through elementary school and all through high school, every school is always just kind of like, yeah, we don't accept bullying here, but it's never actually addressed, or the teacher's not even aware of it. And I think with
yeah,
the smaller classrooms, the teachers sees, like they can see what's going on all the time. and they know, and we're very open here. Like everyone knows what's going on. So I feel like the safety aspect of like, if you come here, like if you have had bad experiences, I really think that you're going to feel accepted once you kind of know the Astolot philosophy and in
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, nice, nice. Um, and along the same lines, like if you were taking a tour with a family, let's say, showing them around the school, you know, what's maybe one thing that you would highlight about the school, or you know, what's the first thing that you would show them?
We have like a calming room, which is kind of like special, where kids go if they're just like need a break or some time off. They kind of go into this like calm room, when we have like a couch, and we have like kind of like sensory toys for like anxiety, and like a disco ball, and it's just kind of like a calming room. And I
Mm-hmm.
really I like that room. I think it's kind of stands out in the school. It's
Nice.
cool. Yeah.
What is one piece of advice you would give to a student who, you know, is just entering the school?
Um, One piece of advice I would give them is to come to Aslot in an open mind, for
Mm.
sure. I think coming from a school that's very large and coming here is kind of a little bit of like a shell shock in a way. Like it's just very different. And if like you don't come to the school kind of with an open mind, I don't really think you'll be successful in a way. I think it's really important to come in with that open mind and um, know that it's going to be different than public school. And
Yeah.
if you can do that, then you're going to be great here. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
And just to end off, I'm curious, what is maybe one thing that you learned, you know, from your time there that has helped you ever since, and you think will impact your life going forward?
Believing in myself. Yeah. Believing in myself, giving me that self-confidence, giving me those tools. Like, this is how you learn, and you're gonna make it. You might struggle along the way, but you're smart and you're intelligent, and believing yourself is definitely something I learned the most here, is really just believing in myself. For sure.